So there's a channel on YouTube called The Watcher, which was formerly called BuzzFeed Unsolved, and they had plenty of big premieres on things like Hulu and Amazon Prime. Huge channel of 2.28 million subscribers that was just a staple of the YouTube community. Created in 2019, the channel, hosted by Ryan and Shane, grew to magnificent heights, and by 2021 had become a spiritual successor and home place for the investigative journalism and docu-web series of the different things on the internet. Now, like a lot of millennials that grew up during the time of YouTube and content creation in the mid-2000s, 2010s era, they were very much left-leaning in their ideologies, always claiming that they would eat the rich and always give back to the community in their efforts of making content.
I mean, I do want to eat the rich.
You know they taste good.
But recently, they've landed themselves in some hot water with the controversial idea from content creators on YouTube, something that people have thought about for a long time, starting their own sort of streaming platform and charging some sort of fee for their content.
Watcher is an ad-free, independent streaming service dedicated to providing you guys the television caliber content that you know and love.
Streamer, I think, is a place that reflects what our content is. High quality series in season form, beautifully organized, ad-free. It's what we were destined to be.
Now, all that sounds like a great value proposition if we really take a look at the meat and potatoes of the situation. I'm gonna come over to your platform, it's gonna be ad-free, but we have to figure out what it's gonna cost me to do that. And a lot of people are upset that it comes with an annual subscription of $59.99 or $5.99 a month. Now, some of the reasons why they're justifying this is because they say they're stuck behind YouTube's copyright and monetization system, which can be a bit of a hassle. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been caught behind those, yellow markers of death. Their income is reliant on the ads, and ads kind of ebb and flow on YouTube, so there's no real way to gauge how much money you're gonna make on a week-to-week or month-to-month basis. And they want to increase their quality and optimize for a larger viewer base, and they do that in order to maintain some sort of income. One of the bigger problems here is that Patreon members will not have access to these subscriptions, so this is a totally different platform from which they are starting. Now, while these guys thought this was the greatest idea in the world, a lot of people took to this negatively. The internet was in a frenzy. They lost literally 100,000 subscribers in 3 days' time. And there was a lot of members on X that thought that they were alienated from their community. Mar Solomon says, Watcher lost 100,000 plus subscribers already. Let's get them down to 2 mil and show them and all other YouTubers that try this, and we are done with subscriptions and will not support this. You begged us poor people for help just 4 years ago. Now you're disgusted by us. Poor people deserve content. Stop alienating us. Now, I do feel for the old school content creator that's been on the platform for a long time. You grew up from faceless videos on the internet like Your Rage and some of the other content creators have been doing for a long time, and now you're trying to blossom and grow your production into something that is taken more seriously. All your visions are put to the forefront of your mind now because you get some sort of money, but you start to realize that it takes way more money than just the AdSense can bring in. And so then you try to create some sort of balance. How can I give my audience the best platforming viewing service that they can get, but also still make money so I can carry out some of the dreams and aspirations that I have? You don't want to bog them down with a bunch of ads spammed throughout your video, and also those don't really equate to a lot of money. So then you start to take on sponsorships and branding deals. But we've seen people all over the internet get killed for being branded out throughout their content. So either you end up like a Flight Reacts where you have a bunch of ads spammed throughout your whole video, or you end up with a Prize Picks t-shirt, 2 stickers up here, it's in the thumbnail, and then people feel like you are a brand and you're not really in it for the content anymore. Now, I don't really understand why people are so upset about this, especially when there are different membership platforms and other things in which people can get content exclusively from these people. You can go to subscribe to their Patreon, which literally has their content behind it. They just get more from this transaction because it's on their own website. Or you can even be a YouTube member to get their behind the scenes content, which still gives you access there. It just doesn't have that 70-30 split like YouTube has. Other creators that I know, like FD Signifier, use a streaming platform called Nebula, where they get to avoid all YouTube's copyright laws and all these other stuff like that and just post their content for somebody that's willing to pay for it. Now, I may be sitting on the wrong side of this argument, but it does seem kind of messed up that the audience took it this way, because as content creators, we do want to give you the best content possible. But I will say this, you do, as a content creator, have a responsibility to give the audience what they want in the manner that they want it, and not make them feel like they're just a piggy bank to you. So even if you want to scale your content up to be like some of the streaming platforms or some of the television shows that you see on TV or the movies that you see in the theaters, your audience has decided that that's not what they want to see, else they'd watch that stuff. So are you really listening to your audience and being genuine to what their beliefs are and what they want in your content, or are you just doing this out of your own greed? And then there's this conversation about affordability. People are really tired of signing up for all these different streaming platforms. I had a hard time this past March watching the March Madness games of college basketball because every single network had their own streaming platform in which to watch the game, and every single game was on a different channel every single night. Peacock didn't offer this one, but Fubo did. Sling TV offered a different one from Peacock and Fubo, and Netflix had different games than HBO Max. With all that being said, Netflix and other platforms are rising prices and cutting out on all the password sharing, and not only is it so hard to keep up with who has what and what has who, it also is very reminiscent of cable when I'm signed up for 18 different platforms just to watch LSU go against Iowa. It honestly gets very tiring at some point. I think there could have been a different way that they could have went about this. Having other content creators put their content on Watcher, and then having you as a member have access to the entire catalog of whatever's on Watcher's platform for a low fee, distributing it out to some of the content creators, kind of like how Spotify does with their music system with better splits, to be honest with you. Or giving a more streamlined product on the main platform and then keeping the rest of the stuff, the real meat and potatoes, the stuff that people really don't see on different paid to view platforms. But at some point it does seem to give off very much greedy because they do have 12,738 Patreon followers, and they have like 1 million or 100 million or billion views on a year-to-year basis, and that doesn't seem like it's enough to maintain 5 videos a month. I don't know, this is a misstep in the wrong direction, but I will say this is something that a lot of YouTubers or content creators have been thinking about for a long time. Those that truly do have a passion. How can I create a network that is my own? How can I create direct to consumer content that doesn't have the same rules, restrictions, and guidelines of some of these other platforms? So just as I was about to wrap up this video, something came across my desk from my production team, and it says that the Watcher team has basically backed out of all the promises that they had made about the platform that they had just established. From discussing film, the Watcher team have apologized to fans about the announcement of their new streaming service. They will now make their originals available for free on YouTube after 1 month of them being on the streaming platform. Seemingly they found some sort of happy medium. I don't know if this can reverse any outcomes that they possibly done to all these other things, but hopefully they can get some of their supporters back, because I think, again, while they are trying to expand and grow and reach new depths and new heights, this seems to be some sort of medium that allows them to continue to have the platform that they tried to establish and appease the platform that they've already had before. I think a lot of content creators should look at this as a perfect example as to not jump totally out the window, but maybe ease people into a situation that's a little bit better explained, or give people more options, because people who have had free content for a while do not want to hear this mess that the Watcher tried to peddle. It's absolutely crazy.